It's 5:37 now. 1 out of every 8 Americans has diabetes. Some may not even know it.
With diabetes comes the risk of a list of other diseases, including eye problems. Retina Associates of Western New York is hosting its first ever Diabetes Day next Saturday. You can get free screenings April 25th from 8 in the morning until 3 in the afternoon. You'll be screened for overall eye health and be set up with other diabetic resources. Let's go in depth on how our eye health is connected to insulin production.
News 10 NBC's Christy Blake joins us live now from Retina Associates of Western New York. Christy, you spoke with an expert. What causes diabetic retinopathy and how common is it?
It's actually a pretty common, and it can lead to blindness. Diabetes damages the little blood vessels in our eyes. They can be weak and they can break, and then when they regrow, they're not as strong as what they once were. I spoke with a doctor about why it's so important to catch this disease early.
In the early and moderate stages of disease, there may be no symptoms. What we're dealing with, again, is an epidemic of disease, and so many people who are diabetic don't even realize they have diabetes.
Is this something you see more in type 1 or type 2? I have a friend who's type 1, and she has never mentioned this to me.
Yeah, so diabetic retinopathy can occur in any form of diabetes, type 1, type 2. Sometimes people even refer to a type 1.5 nowadays, but it can really occur in any form.
The American Diabetes Association says 30% of diabetics have this disease. Who is most at risk is still a bit of a mystery.
The risk is definitely higher with poor glycemic control, and that's why your doctor will often ask about what's your hemoglobin A1C level. So for example, there are numerous clinical trials that have shown that people who keep their A1C at 7 or less tend to do much better in terms of diabetic retinopathy. But even in some cases, there are patients who have great A1C control who still develop some diabetic retinopathy.
Dr. Hall is part of clinical research working to figure out why that is.
Sometimes by the time people get to us, the disease is very advanced. This is sort of a silent progressive disease.
If caught, it is treatable.
With medications, sometimes we're using lasers, and in even more advanced cases, we may even recommend surgery. But in many cases, it's really just observation and monitoring, education about risk factors for disease progression. So in many cases, it's really just education. That's really the key for this disease.
The American Academy of Ophthalmology in a 2024 study found that 6 out of 10 diabetics actually skip out on sight-saving screenings. We have all the information you need to know about signing up for next weekend's screenings on our website, WHEC.com. Appointments are required. Reporting live in Rochester, Christy Blake, News 10 NBC.
All right, thanks, Christy. Diabetic eye disease is the #1 cause of blindness in working-age Americans.